Open letter on the credibility of Ethiopia's 2026 election. The following is an open letter written by Arbegna Zemene, chairman of the Amhara Fano National Movement, and addressed to the chairperson of the African Union Commission, with copies sent to international leaders and institutions involved in election observation and democratic governance. In this letter, Arbegna Zemene raises concerns regarding the assessments issued following Ethiopia's 2026 General Sham election and questions whether the election met the democratic standards outlined in African and international governance frameworks. The letter discusses issues related to political participation, conflict, electoral inclusiveness, and the broader implications for democratic institutions on the African continent. What follows is the full text of the letter. His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, African Union Headquarters, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia CC, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, former President of Kenya and head of the AU Election Observation Mission, His Excellency Antonio Guterres, Secretary General, United Nations Subject. The endorsement of Ethiopia's 2026 election undermines the principles of democracy. Your Excellency, I write to express profound concern regarding the public assessments issued by the African Union Election Observation Mission and other regional observers following Ethiopia's June 2026 general election. While the mission's statement acknowledged the conduct of voting in areas it observed and commended aspects of the electoral process, the broader conclusion risks legitimizing an election that falls far short of the democratic standards enshrined in the African Union's own governing principles. This letter is not merely about Ethiopia. It is about the credibility of African institutions and the future of democracy on our continent. The African Charter on Democracy, Elections and Governance establishes clear standards for democratic legitimacy. Elections must be free, fair, transparent, inclusive, competitive, and conducted within an environment where citizens can freely exercise their political rights. The Charter emphasizes political pluralism, independent institutions, citizen participation, respect for human rights, freedom of expression, freedom of association, and equal political opportunity. Measured against these standards, serious questions arise regarding the legitimacy of Ethiopia's 2026 election. The election was conducted while significant portions of the country remained affected by armed conflict. Entire regions faced severe security challenges, political opposition remained constrained, and millions of citizens were unable to participate under conditions that could reasonably be described as free and competitive. International media organizations, independent analysts, and human rights advocates documented an electoral environment marked by conflict, displacement, restrictions on political activity, and the absence of meaningful national political competition. The concerns become even more troubling when examining the available data from conflict-affected regions. According to reports compiled by local observers and civic actors in the Amhara region, there were approximately 11,902 polling stations across the region. Of those, only 326 polling stations, approximately 2.7%, were reported to have conducted voting activities. The remaining 11,576 polling stations, representing approximately 97.3% of the total, did not conduct meaningful voting due to conflict, security conditions, or lack of government control. Furthermore, reports indicate that active military engagements occurred in approximately 146 towns and administrative centers during the election period, including more than 100 locations within the Amhara region alone. Whether one accepts every aspect of these figures or not, the scale of the reported disruption should have prompted extreme caution before declaring the election broadly successful or representative. Equally concerning is the fact that Ethiopia's political environment leading up to the election lacked many of the characteristics associated with genuine democratic competition. Opposition leaders, journalists, civic activists, and independent voices have repeatedly reported intimidation, detention, restrictions on political activity, and limitations on freedom of expression. Elections cannot be evaluated solely by what occurs inside polling stations on election day. They must also be judged by the political environment that precedes them. Respectfully,
ሰላም ጤናና ነጻነት ለአድማጭ ተመልካቾቻችን ከእቅድ እስከ ግንባር ከፖለቲካ ትንተናዎች እስከ